In a small town, far from the noise of big cities, there lived a man named Marcus. Marcus was not special in any obvious way. He was not the richest, the strongest, or the smartest. But what set Marcus apart was his deep curiosity about life. He often wondered why some people achieved great success while others, despite their hard work, never seemed to get ahead. One day, he decided to find out for himself. He left his quiet town and set out on a journey to learn from the most successful people in the world. His first stop was a meeting with a famous writer named Clara. Clara had written many books, and her words had touched millions. Marcus asked her, "What do you think makes you different from others who also want to write but never succeed?" Clara smiled and said, "The difference is not in talent, it's in discipline. Every single morning I write for 2 hours, no matter how I feel. Most people wait for inspiration, but I know inspiration comes only to those who show up every day." Marcus wrote this down carefully. He realized that success was not about waiting for the perfect moment, but about building habits. Next, Marcus visited a businessman named Daniel. Daniel had started with nothing and built a company that changed an entire industry. When Marcus asked him the same question, Daniel replied, "Most people give up too soon. They try something, face a few failures, and quit. But failure is not the opposite of success." Every time I failed, I learned something new, and that knowledge made me stronger. Marcus thought about how often he had given up when things got hard. He saw now that persistence was a key trait of successful people. As he continued his journey, Marcus met a scientist named Elena. She had made groundbreaking discoveries in her field. When he asked her the secret, she said, "I ask questions. Most people accept things as they are. But I always ask, why is this the way it is? Could it be different? Curiosity leads to innovation." Marcus realized that successful people never stopped learning. They were always asking, always exploring. Then Marcus met an athlete named Raj. Raj had won many championships, and his discipline was legendary. "How do you stay so focused?" Marcus asked. Raj replied, "I set clear goals, not vague dreams, but specific targets, and I break them into small steps. Every day, I focus only on the next step, not the whole journey. That keeps me moving forward." Marcus understood now that success was not about big leaps, but small, consistent actions. Finally, Marcus found himself in front of an elderly philosopher named Sophia. She had studied human behavior for decades. He asked her, "What is the one thing all successful people have in common?" She smiled and said, "They take full responsibility for their lives. They don't blame others or make excuses. If something goes wrong, they ask, 'What can I learn? How can I improve?' This mindset gives them power over their destiny." Marcus returned to his town with a notebook full of lessons. He realized that success was not about luck or genius. It was about habits, persistence, curiosity, clear goals, and taking responsibility. From that day on, he applied these lessons to his own life. He wrote every morning, even when he didn't feel like it. He faced failures with patience, knowing they were part of growth. He asked questions and never stopped learning. He set small, clear goals and worked on them daily. And most importantly, he took full responsibility for his choices. Years later, people in the town began to notice Marcus. He had become a respected thinker, a man whose words carried wisdom. When they asked him how he had changed his life, he simply smiled and said, "I learned from those who had already walked the path. Success is not a mystery. It is a series of choices made every single day." The story of Marcus reminds us that highly successful people are not born different. They simply do things differently. They build habits instead of waiting for motivation. They persist where others quit. They stay curious and never stop asking questions. They set clear goals and work on them step by step. And most importantly, they take responsibility for their lives. These are the secrets that separate those who dream from those who achieve. And the good news is, anyone can learn them. The question is, will you?